Welcome back to another episode of Cup of Joe with Joe. Today I'm interviewing Kim Castellano from the Power of One, which is a Clifton organization that does a lot for the town, the seniors, the homeless. I'm looking forward to hearing her story and how she got into it. If you guys are liking these shows, please like, subscribe, and we will keep them rolling. Let's talk to Kim. Kim, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to do Cup of Joe. Cheers.
Cheers to Clifton.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and the Power of One.
Well, now that we're sitting here just drinking our coffee, to be honest with you, about me, I really like to rest on the beach and walk through the park.
I like that. Who doesn't?
I know. That's what I really like to do if I have my choice. But I said yes to being the founder of Power of One, a Christian nonprofit 501(c) that impacts Clifton. And we do that through our seniors, our veterans, disabled, and families in crisis. So I give up all those leisurely, fun things to really make a difference in the Clifton community. So we always say Clifton is our priority. So I do enjoy doing that. Don't get me wrong, I do. But I do enjoy going to the beach.
Everybody loves the beach. So when and why did you decide to start Power of One?
Well, it wasn't like I decided one day to wake up and say, hey, I'm going to do a nonprofit. No, it didn't happen that way. So 20-something years, I'd say 23, around 23. In 2000, I was looking for a church. I was a single mom struggling, and my friend said, can you guys go find a church community to get involved in, and so they can help me raise my, daughter. So I prayed, and next thing you know, I found this little church in Clifton, on Clifton Ave, and it was the Evangelical Fellowship Chapel. I walked in there one day, and I sat the pew and just felt God say, Kim, you're home. Knew nothing about Clifton. So it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to Clifton to change the world. No, it wasn't even that. I was lost. I was in crisis. I was a single mom, trying to figure myself out and break free from whatever. So the church kind of took me in there. And I was living in Lodi at the time. And then I started serving in the church, and then we started impacting the community just around by school 12. So what happened was the church ended up closing, long story short. The church ended up transitioning. They're closed. They were old church. They turned it into a shelter for the Muslim families. I was on the board in decision with that because I was a deaconess. I went through the role. What I really wanted to do was, before I started the nonprofit, I wanted to be a missionary. But the deaconry says, Kim, we feel that you're called to Clifton. I was like, what do you mean? Like, no, we really think that you should stay here and not go down to the deaconry, and we think that you should stay here and continue the work. I'm like, I wanted to be a sister. I don't want to do this. So it wasn't like I wanted to do this. I wanted to be on the sisterhood, and I wanted to be to travel or take care of the people from Germany when they came to America. And then that's how that church was. It was mission-minded, mission-focused. So we would knock on doors in Clifton. We would, I was a part of the children's youth. There were troubled youths in that area back in the day. So then what happened was I was doing the work. The church decided to, not do this. So I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? So my daughter now is in high school. So she says, start your own nonprofit, do something, get something where you're functioning under it. So the nonprofit was the only way. So then I started getting trained as a Christian counselor and everything, and it just exploded. Yeah. And so I kind of feel like I didn't decide this route. This route was decided for me, and it was a call. I was called to Clifton. I can't abandon it,
of course,
whether I like it or not.
Of course.
And so I found an apartment. Right in 2004, I found an apartment right around the corner from the church. So I looked up the Clifton Journal magazine, and there was an apartment because I needed to move. So they said, come to Clifton. So I came to Clifton, and I've been here since. So, and then that's how I found School 12, and everything just started to...
Absolutely.
God just started to make those doors open and close doors. So I was always looking for volunteers, looking for help. It was not like I just said, hey, one day I'm going to start a nonprofit.
Well, I'm going to jump in there. How many volunteers do you have?
We have right now about 100 volunteers. We try to, I can't manage 100 volunteers, but now the 100 volunteers are volunteers that they'll say they only volunteer one time a year. Maybe they'll just do the school drive. Maybe they'll just do Christmas or Thanksgiving. But we have a core four, we call it. So the core four is those four volunteers that show up every week, no matter what. That's Anita Scangarella, Pat Mangarelli, Chris Makovitz, and Michael Rice. So there's our core four. So every time there's something needed, those four are always right there. And then we have another level, so there's 12 of us weekly. So that those others could be doing every other week. They jump in, but they're there. But it's a lot to manage because you don't know who's going to show up. You have M&T Bank that comes, and they volunteer. They put their community, so you never know when they're going to pop up. So sometimes you'll have 8 to 12 volunteers on a Wednesday, but the core four is always there.
Right, absolutely. Who are your inspirations?
Well, if I told you Jesus, you'd probably hang me on the cross. But to be honest with you, my inspirations were the missionaries down at the deaconry. Because again, I set out to be a missionary.
Absolutely.
I didn't want a job. I wanted to be a missionary. I wanted to go down there. I knew what the job was. I was going to work the bookstore. So they inspired me, and I used to sit down there and go and sit with the sisters on the park bench. And they used to say, Kim, you got to go back to Clifton. So they're really, so I'd say Mother Teresa really would be my inspiration because she set out and focused on the world, right, around her. And the church took care of her. She died with no money, which I don't have any money, people. I really, really don't.
That's an amazing inspiration to have, Mother Teresa.
It is. Not to say I am, but some people call me Clifton's Mother Teresa, whatever. But I can't think of doing anything else but what I'm doing. So I just wish I could, but I can't. I'd rather sit on the beach, because I could.
Yeah.
Okay, I literally could go on the beach and sit on the beach. But I can't.
Understood. Now, I know this, but tell us about some of the events that you guys do.
Oh, jeez. So the events, well, we just got done doing the blanket drive.
Yes.
Okay.
Big
so
success.
Very big, over 70, almost 90 blankets, right? We have so many blankets that we had to raffle them off to our seniors.
Which is great.
Which is great, because you know what? You get some things that you can use for this project, and then you use it and overflow it into another work that we're doing. So right now we have, event-wise, because we have programs, and then we have events.
Yes.
So programs are our Seniors Week here, and that's been our focus.
Absolutely.
And it's also the at-risk families at School 12 and School 17. Those two things have never changed. That's always been like that. Homelessness we do, but we do it quietly and gently. But we've been impacting our homeless through the health department of Clifton. We're coming alongside them because Clifton is our priority. So if that's a problem in Clifton, well, our organization wants to be there and bridge a gap. So we impact them, we help them. We have fundraisers, which are Fun Country Night at the Grand Saloon. Someone said, hey, one day you're going to take over that saloon. No, it's just a nice place to hang out and just bring people together. We do the Community Resource Expo, which is bringing families. It brings all the organizations and agencies together for the greater good of Clifton. So that's our goal right now, is to keep on doing 2 of them a year. It's free. We're not charging agencies to come and help our people. So those are big events. Family Fun Day is one of our fun summer ones. Family Fun Day is definitely slotted. We're in the process of getting our permits. Christmas is our Christmas party, and that's by invitation only. That's not open to public. That's there's 300 families in our database that in Clifton, from School 12, 17, and 4, and I think School 15. There's 300 families that we're serving. If I was to put a flyer out, it would go out to 300 families. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot, yeah.
I can't manage that as a small little organization with no funding. That we have to keep it to where we keep 40 little families. So we're exploding because our focus is Clifton. And the need is getting greater because we're in a different economy. And it's not just, hey, I'm going to get a free bag of food. You're getting connected to resources.
Absolutely. You've been doing it, you said 23 years. Do you have one memory that stands out as, this is my fondest memory, this is the most powerful thing that I've seen or done so far?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Well, besides, COVID was just an amazing thing that happened. Peter Eager was behind that, so was Margaret at the senior center. I would say that's an amazing effort that we've ever did. I didn't know them, they didn't know me, and we were like firemen going into a building. That would be like the biggest crisis I think I've ever
Absolutely, yeah,
bridged.
understood. I think, yeah.
Would it be the fondest? Would it be the funnest? No. I think our second Christmas with Santa and seeing the children's faces, these families were struggling and they never had a Christmas party, never knew what this was like. We've even had people from other cultures come to our Christmas party, and the father said to one of our volunteers, he says, you know, this is really enjoyable. He says, I'm just bringing my kids because we don't have this in our culture, and I want them to experience this. So they experienced Santa, they experienced the games. So I think our Christmas party is the dearest thing besides the school supplies. COVID is COVID, and that was a crisis.
Absolutely.
There's so many things. It's like, how do you nail it down? But I think I did.
Okay.
I think Christmas and seeing Santa.
That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Now, your primary focus is Clifton. Tell me about the changes you've seen in Clifton from the time you started until now.
When I first started, again, it's 23 years ago. I've been serving Clifton since year 2000 when I walked into that church. The homeless, to be honest with you, have always been there. They knocked on our doors, and the pastor used to say, come on in, and he'd help them out. Not everybody was in agreement,
Right.
and I'd watch that. I'd see how people didn't want to help the homeless. They'd bang on our basement door to come in. I saw how he had compassion for them and how he dealt with them, so I learned. The biggest change, I think, is the diversity that we have. I never realized there were so many different cultures. But I think it's beautiful. I think that's the way the world is, and Clifton has it. And it attracts everybody. But what I see is everyone's coming together. And I say there's like a wrecking force. It's not a wrecking. It's a beautiful forge that everyone's coming together. Because the Palestinian American Club, they help me all the time. I call them up. Diab is right there. What do you need, Kim? Beds, mattresses, anything. So I'm seeing like organizations are coming together for the common good of the community. We're 90,000 people.
Yes.
And there's different pockets of crisis. And every time we have a crisis, you're seeing these organizations coming together. That makes a town beautiful. When we can do that, when we can put down our different opinions about Jesus and God and Holy Spirit, or whatever, religions and cultures, and just come together. I think that's just a wonderful thing that Clifton is doing. How it's doing it, I have no idea. I'm just doing my part. But I see the change.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Yes.
You can walk in different areas of Clifton, and there's different pockets of people.
Absolutely, you're not kidding. Absolutely.
And different. I mean, you can think about the restaurants. You can eat anything here.
Anything.
I love to eat Mediterranean
Yeah.
food. Jimmy loves the sushi.
Yeah.
I mean, Italian.
Yeah.
I mean, you have everything.
We're very lucky with the.
You can even do Turkish food.
Yes.
And I'm learning. I said,
There
I'll
is
go with somebody.
everything.
I just need to go with somebody that knows how to order off the menu.
Yes.
So.
Where you just go in, you say, give me your most popular dish, and then you take the chance. Right. I love doing that.
Oh, you do that?
I do.
That's how you do it.
I want to know what they're eating and their most popular dish, and I'm going to go off of that. And I'm going to take their suggestion.
Okay, so I like that idea.
Yes.
So you can go anywhere in Clifton and just eat something different every night.
Yes, and it's amazing.
It's amazing. So I see that as different. I never saw that, coming here 23 years ago. There was also a division, so that wall is brought down. So that division between the cultures and the sections. I'm seeing, like I said, a force bringing everybody together. Like whether you like it or not, we're all coming together. So, and I love the resource network that we have. I want to grow that network of resources and agencies and all of us working together, because when I need help, I'm on the phone. I call Rebecca with Serve. She has a problem. She's calling me. Somebody needs food. Someone's in crisis. We got to work together. Even the one step in Patterson. I mean, I have somebody who needed to get on a forklift thing, and I was like, can you please help make sure he's on that list? And she took care of it. So we're all working in together. That's beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
You're coming in, you need help. Okay, and a success story of that is someone moved out of Clifton, moved up to like West Milford area. They called me back and they said the biggest regret they did was move out of Clifton. I said, why? She goes, because they said to me they do not have any type of programs like she had here in Clifton. She says, Kim, I'm really by myself out here. I said, I'm really sorry. We gave her a list of the closest places in Wayne to go. She goes, but they don't even do it.
Yeah.
So we, as Clifton, are like our own little hub of resources, of food, culture. You get everything.
Yes.
And you have the highways, a quick jump.
Oh, yeah.
You could do, I mean, I used to be a country girl. A beach, country.
Hence country night.
Hence country night. Yes, I did line dancing. I was a country girl. I sold our house up there and came down to the city. And I cried.
Yeah.
But now I don't think I could, I love to visit the country.
Yep.
But I don't think I can become that country girl.
Understood. It's hard when
It's
you're
hard
in
to go
Clifton
back.
to go back. Absolutely.
If I got to drive 15 minutes to the other side of Clifton, I go
Of
like
course.
this.
Especially with our traffic. So, last question I have for you
Okay.
is what advice would you give somebody looking to get involved in helping their community or just helping in general?
Right. So that's a big question, passionate question too. So people always are looking for something great to do or get involved in. So my advice is to find an organization or a group, civic group, that shares the same passions as you. So if you're called to the seniors, then go help a group that's helping the seniors. If you're passionate about children, go help, or like Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Help, go there, because I have someone that wants that, and I'd say, find an organization that's doing that work that you want to do. Make sure it's lined up with your values. So core values are driving forces, not to be reckoned with either. So they're driving forces. So these organizations, this is what their focus is. Come alongside of them, see what complements. So like for Power of One, our core values are integrity. And you see these played out in organizations and people. Integrity, compassion, and joy. So the compassion means, we need to have compassion for the homeless guy. Okay, I can't judge him. I don't know his story, but just give him a little compassion. Give him an opportunity. And then serve with joy. Because if you're miserable serving, you're not in where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
You're supposed to walk out there and say, like, I feel great. I just did this. I spent an hour here, and I did this.
Yep.
And that's the give back. So it's really follow that. That's what, like I said, follow something that you're passionate about, and then balance it with what your work is. Don't become a missionary if you're not called. If you're not called to do a sacrifice, to sacrifice for something, I would never recommend anybody. Like, this mantle is for me to carry. If I was to take this and put it on you, you might sink. If I was to take yours and put it on me, I'd probably be miserable. So don't compare yourself with somebody else. Compare yourself with yourself 1 year ago.
Absolutely.
So never compare yourself to the next guy.
It's good advice.
Where was I last year, and where am I today?
Absolutely.
So I'm a better person. And hey, listen, this past year, I met you.
Yes.
We met each other.
Absolutely.
So we're in a better place than we were
I agree.
last year.
I agree.
So I love this cup of Joe.
Thank you so much for coming in and doing this. And I know you're busy.
This is
And
exciting.
thank you. Good luck with everything.
Yes.
And I'm always
thank
here
you
if
for
you
your
need me.
support.
Of course.
We're always looking for businesses to always help us.
Absolutely.
They come, they volunteer, they do drop-offs. It's great. And we're doing another drop-off. We're doing a food drive.
Yes.
Yes, for our spring break
Yes.
kids. We need food for that. I can't help more than 40 families. And again, we have 300.
Yes.
So
Pick up the food, drop it
Drop
off
it
here.
off here at JK Realty.
I'll take care of it and I'll get it to Kim.
And then
Kim,
we'll sort it up.
cheers. Thank you so
Second
much.
cheers.